The Bundesliga title is ramping up. Bayern are looking for their 11th in a row, but others remain hot on their heels. Will the dominance continue, or could we finally see a surprise winner in Germany?
Hello there and welcome to Football Now from Doha. On this week's episode of the show, we're taking a look at the Bundesliga. Now, despite its array of stars and sizzling hot atmospheres, Germany's top division finds itself to be quite often rather predictable. European royalty Bayern Munich have won the Meisterschale an astonishing 10 times in a row. It's an unbelievable record, isn't it? But with 6 weeks left to go of the season, the title race is wide open.
Following Julian Nagelsmann's sacking, Bayern's Thomas Tuchel era got off to a great start as their 4-2 win over Borussia Dortmund saw them go back to the top of the table. Union Berlin remain in the mix too, whilst SC Freiburg and RB Leipzig continue to keep the pressure on. So why is this year so close at the top?
I think the main reason is that Bayern Munich are not quite as imperious as they used to be. They have shown a little bit of weakness in terms of results, slightly inconsistent. Injuries, the World Cup, all these things have combined to disrupt their season somewhat. There's a genuine contest going on all over the table, and that includes a really super tight relegation battle where 5 teams could easily go down or could easily save themselves. In total, it makes for a very exciting and very unpredictable Bundesliga season.
So a division that has for so long been over before it's barely got going could now go down to the wire. This year's Bundesliga season has been one of the most exciting, most entertaining in European football. But as we know, it hasn't always been that way. Here's a brief look back at the recent history of Germany's top tier.
2022 saw Bayern making an incredible 10 league wins in a row, pipping Borussia Dortmund to the title. 2021 will be remembered as the year that Robert Lewandowski broke Gerd Muller's record, scoring 41 league goals in a single season. The Pole has finished as the Golden Boot winner for the last 5 years. Bayern's win in 2020 meant that they became only the second side to win every trophy available, also known as the Sextuple. 2019 was a somewhat tighter affair, with Dortmund losing out by just 2 points on the final day. The following 5 years proved to be a procession for the Bavarian side, including in 2016 where they broke the record for the least goals conceded in a single season, and in 2013 which saw Bayern win by 25 points more than the runners-up, Borussia Dortmund.
The main reason for Bayern's dominance is their financial advantage. They turn over 650, maybe 700 million euros. Their next best rival in terms of income is Dortmund, and they're around about the 400 million euro mark. And there's a huge gap to the third and fourth. So Bayern's financial position has allowed them to buy the best players, to have the best squad, to pick up players that other teams cannot hold on to. And we've seen a dynamic whereby if a really good Bundesliga player emerges, he either goes to Bayern or he goes abroad. And until that dynamic changes, Bayern starts in a position where the Bundesliga is kind of theirs to lose.
Now, many of you watching at home will know all about Bayern Munich, but what about some of the other title challengers? Well, let's start with the country's second biggest side then, Borussia Dortmund. The manager, Edin Terzic, was hired at the back end of last season, and it's fair to say that his impact has been pretty remarkable.
Luckily for Edin Terzic, who has put a lot of work down into players in the way that he wants to play after the turbulent season of last season under Marco Rose, it kind of came together, and I think they've been quite lucky that they had an extended break over winter to really work on these principles. So playing in possession, playing in different flexible types if they need to be, which they didn't have in the past, to really give them this new lease of life. They are enjoying one of their best seasons. They're enjoying being in a title race, so fans are really relishing that.
So to Germany's capital, where for so long Hertha has ruled Berlin. But the last few years has seen a somewhat changing of the guard. The smaller, arguably more hipster Union Berlin have been back in the top flight since 2019. They've been within touching distance of Bayern ever since the campaign kicked off, and have proved themselves to be one of the stories of the season.
It's unbelievable, and to be hanging in the title race so long is beyond anyone's wildest dreams. In terms of where it stacks up, it's clearly the best season Union have ever had. I didn't think that the title would have been possible, but then I didn't think European football would have been possible. I didn't think making the Bundesliga would have been possible. This team loves to surprise its most ardent fans and the wider public. I guess this is one of the things with football. We just enjoy the ride, and hopefully we celebrate more than we commiserate.
So a great season so far for Union Berlin then, but what about two of the other surprise packages, SC Freiburg and RB Leipzig?
I didn't think it would go as well as it's currently going. Again, their turnaround has been spectacular, especially from how far behind they were from the Champions League places, let alone, trying to maintain a Bundesliga challenge. And then, of course, we've got SC Freiburg. It really did look like they were also going to maintain a challenge. I think that's wavered off just a slight bit. Again, I'm no fortune teller, and they are still very consistent, and they could end up a lot higher than that. I'm rating them right now.
Oh, it's set to be an interesting end to the season, isn't it? That brings us to the end of this week's show. Do let us know your thoughts at home using the hashtag FootballNowBundesliga, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.